You might be eating clean, training hard, and doing everything right. But if your body feels constantly unsafe, it may respond by holding on to the very fat you are trying to lose. I know you've felt it. The scale drops everywhere except the one place you actually wanted it to. But here is what nobody told you. Your body is gripping that fat on purpose, because somewhere underneath all the effort, it does not feel safe. And a body that feels under threat will hoard fat the way a starving man hoards bread. Now look at the people who solved this without ever counting a single calorie. The Greeks. These are the same men whose bodies we still carve into marble 2,500 years after they died. They never fought for those stomachs. They never punished themselves into them. They simply lived a certain way, and the fat had no reason to stay. Every day, without knowing it, they sent their bodies one quiet message. You are safe. You can let go. Subscribe and stay to the end, because that message wasn't one thing. It was 5 things, woven through an entire day. And the last one is the one almost everyone alive today gets completely wrong. But before we get to what they did, you need to understand why your body fights you in the first place. There's a hormone behind all of it. Cortisol. It's your body's alarm bell. The chemical that floods your system the second it senses danger. And thousands of years ago, danger meant one of 2 things: a predator or a famine. So your body built a brilliant response. When the alarm rings, store fat. Pack it deep in the belly, wrapped around the organs, where it can be ripped open for emergency fuel. That fat saved your ancestors' lives. The problem is that your alarm bell can't tell the difference between a charging animal and an unread email from your boss. It can't separate a real famine from a bad night's sleep. To your nervous system, the unpaid bill, the endless scroll, the argument you keep replaying at 2 a.m., it's all the same lion. The alarm just keeps ringing. And as long as it rings, the order never changes. Store the fat. Protect the body. Hold on. Here's the part that should make you angry. The fat around your belly is the most sensitive fat on your entire body when it comes to stress. It's covered in tiny receivers that grab onto cortisol, about 4 times more of them than the fat anywhere else. So when your stress hormone runs high, your belly is the first place the fat lands, and the very last place your body ever agrees to give it up. And it gets worse. That belly fat doesn't just hold the stress signal, it starts producing its own, feeding the exact thing that created it. The more you carry, the harder your body fights to keep it. A trap that tightens itself. This is why you can eat less, train more, and watch the mirror refuse to change. You're not lazy. You're not failing. You're fighting a body that's been told, all day, every day, that it is not safe to let go. And you don't win that fight by pushing harder. You win it by making the body feel safe again, which is exactly what the Greeks did, without ever trying. And the first piece of it began the moment they opened their eyes. You see, the Greeks woke up with the sun. There was no other option. No glowing screen, no switch on the wall, no blue light pouring into their faces at midnight. Their entire day was governed by one thing: light. Up with the dawn, working and training in open air, winding down as the sky went dark. And that simple rhythm did something we've only just learned to measure. Your body is built to run cortisol on a clean daily curve. It's supposed to spike hard in the morning to wake you up and get you moving, then fall steadily all day until it bottoms out at night so you can sleep. Morning light is the trigger that sets that curve. When bright daylight hits your eyes early, it tells your master clock exactly what time it is, and that sharp, well-timed morning peak is what allows cortisol to fall cleanly the rest of the day, leaving your evenings calm and your nights deep. Now look at how you live. Dim, dark mornings indoors. Bright, artificial light blasting your eyes until midnight. You flipped the whole curve upside down. your cortisol stays flat and elevated when it should be dropping. And a flattened cortisol curve means your tissue is bathed in that storage signal around the clock. The Greeks never had that problem. The sun fixed their rhythm for free. It's the easiest thing on this entire list to copy, and almost nobody does it. But once the day began, the Greeks did something else we've forgotten how to do. They walked, and they thought their greatest thoughts while doing it. In Athens, in the year 335 BC, Aristotle founded a school in a grove called the Lyceum. But he did not lecture from a chair. He taught while strolling the shaded walkways, his students drifting alongside him, the ideas unfolding in step with their feet. They were nicknamed the Peripatetics, a word that simply means the walkers. The deepest philosophy in human history was worked out at walking pace. And here is what gentle movement does to a stressed body. Researchers at a military medical center built a quiet, tree-lined path and measured what happened to people who walked it. After a stroll through that green space, their cortisol dropped by around 53%, compared to 37% for people walking a city street. Just being among trees, moving without urgency, flips your nervous system out of alarm mode and into rest and repair. The forest, the slow pace, the open air, it tells the body the hunt is over. But notice what they did not do. They did not grind themselves into the ground. And that matters because intense punishing exercise actually spikes cortisol on its own. This is the cruel joke of the modern gym. The person attacking their body the hardest, day after day with no recovery, can keep their stress hormone permanently raised and their belly fat permanently locked. The Greeks moved like men who had nowhere to be, and their bodies thanked them for it. When the work of the day was done, they reached for something we treat as mere entertainment. Music. To them, it was medicine. Pythagoras, the man whose name is stamped on every triangle you ever drew in school, was also the first person in recorded history to prescribe music as a treatment for the body and mind. His followers built a daily ritual around it, gentle, slow-tempo melodies in the evening to calm the spirit and carry them softly towards sleep. One ancient writer summed up the whole Pythagorean philosophy in a single line. They used medicine to purify the body and music to purify the soul. They had no idea why it worked. We do now. Slow-tempo music has been shown to lower cortisol, raise oxytocin, the body's calm and connection hormone, and lift the activity of the vagus nerve, the master switch that drops you out of fight or flight. A few minutes of the right music genuinely turns the alarm down. The Greeks were treating their nervous systems with sound every single night, centuries before anyone could explain a single note of it. And before they slept, the most disciplined among them did one more thing. They settled their accounts with the day. The Stoics had a nightly habit. The philosopher Seneca described sitting in the dark after his wife had fallen silent, replaying his entire day, every word, every action, hiding nothing from himself. The Emperor Marcus Aurelius did the same. The private journal we now call his Meditations is really just the nightly reckoning of a tired man talking himself back to peace. They examined the day, learned from it, and then, crucially, they let it go. This is not soft advice. An unfinished day is poison to a nervous system. When you lie down with the loop still running, the thing you should have said, the problem you can't fix, your mind reads it as an ongoing threat, and the alarm keeps ringing straight through the night. Getting it out of your head, onto paper, or into honest reflection breaks the loop. Seneca said the practice gave him the deepest sleep he knew. We've since found that this kind of mental unloading lowers stress hormones and measurably improves sleep. If you want the entire framework the ancients built, the training, the food, the recovery, the mindset, in one place, it's laid out in The Art of Living Like a Man, linked below. Which brings us to the fifth practice, the one that mattered most, and the one we have buried under everything else. Sleep. To the Greeks, sleep was sacred. It was where the healing happened. Scattered across the ancient world were around 200 temples devoted to Asclepius, their god of medicine. The most famous stood at Epidaurus. And the central treatment there was almost unbelievable by our standards. The sick would wash themselves clean in sacred baths, empty their minds, and then lie down in a dark, hushed hall called the Abaton, and simply sleep. That was the cure. They believed the god would come to them in their dreams and heal them in the night. Carved into stone tablets there, dated to around 350 BC, are the records of patients who walked in broken and walked out whole. They dressed it in myth, but stripped the god away and look at what they had actually built. A dark, silent, safe room, a calm mind, deep, uninterrupted rest. They had engineered perfect sleep, and they treated it as the most powerful medicine they owned, because it is. Sleep is the master switch for cortisol. Cut your sleep short and your stress hormone spikes the next day. Your body turns insulin resistant, and the visceral fat machine roars back to life. Fix your sleep, and the entire system finally has permission to stand down. The Greeks knew, without a single study, that a rested body is a safe body. So step back and see the whole shape of it. The morning sun, the slow walk, the evening music, the cleared mind, the sacred sleep. Not one of these is a weight loss trick. Not one of them was aimed at the stomach at all. They are 5 different ways of saying the same thing to the body. From dawn until dark, you are safe. The danger has passed. You can stop bracing. And that is the secret the marble never told you. The Greeks didn't lose the fat. They removed the reason for it. When every hour of your day signals safety, the alarm finally goes quiet. Cortisol falls into its natural rhythm. The inflammation cools, and the body releases what it was only ever holding out of fear. The lean, calm strength we still worship in stone wasn't the goal they chased. It was the side effect of a life that refused to live in panic. Now go back to where we started, to you, doing everything right and getting nowhere. Eating less, training more, fighting harder, and feeling your body fight back just as hard. You've been screaming at a frightened animal to calm down. The Greeks never raised their voice. They built a day so steady, so unhurried, so safe, that the animal simply relaxed on its own. You don't need to fight your body. You need to stop frightening it. That's what the ancient way exists to recover. The things we knew for thousands of years and somehow forgot. If this changes the way you'll wake up tomorrow morning, you already know what to do.